Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning and discover that everything you've been desperately trying to control in your life suddenly becomes effortless. Your relationships flow naturally, your career progresses without constant anxiety, and that nagging voice in your head that whispers about worst-case scenarios finally goes quiet. What if I told you that this isn't some fantasy, but the natural result of understanding 8 profound truths that ancient Stoic philosophers discovered over 2,000 years ago? These aren't feel-good platitudes or modern self-help gimmicks. These are time-tested principles that transformed ordinary people into unshakable forces of nature. And today, you're going to learn exactly how they work. The first truth that will revolutionize your relationship with control is this: the harder you grip, the more life slips through your fingers. Think about the last time you tried to catch water with your bare hands. The tighter you squeezed, the faster it escaped. This is exactly what happens when we attempt to micromanage every aspect of our existence. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology is only now catching up to. Our desperate need to control outcomes is often the very thing that prevents us from achieving them. Like how they work. Consider your last major disappointment. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, a job you didn't get, or a plan that fell through. I'm willing to bet that before that disappointment hit, you spent countless hours imagining how things should go, creating elaborate mental scenarios, and trying to influence every variable. The more invested you became in a specific outcome, the more devastating it felt when reality didn't match your expectations. This isn't a character flaw, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of how life actually works. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who spent years as a slave before becoming one of history's most influential teachers, developed a simple but revolutionary framework. He taught that everything in life falls into one of 2 categories: things within our control and things outside our control. Within our control are our thoughts, our responses, our effort, and our character. Outside our control is virtually everything else: other people's actions, natural disasters, economic conditions, and even the ultimate outcomes of our own efforts. This distinction isn't just philosophical theory. It's a practical tool that can immediately transform how you experience stress, anxiety, and frustration. When you catch yourself worrying about something, ask this simple question: is this within my control or outside my control? If it's outside your control, you have permission to release that worry, not because you don't care, but because worrying about uncontrollable factors is literally a waste of your mental energy. The second truth builds on the first. Uncertainty is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Most people live in a constant state of low-level anxiety because they view uncertainty as a threat to their security and happiness. We create elaborate plans, buy insurance policies, and build safety nets, all in an attempt to eliminate uncertainty from our lives. But here's what the Stoics knew that we've forgotten. Uncertainty isn't something to be eliminated. It's something to be embraced as the natural state of existence. When you accept uncertainty as a fundamental aspect of life rather than a problem to be solved, something remarkable happens. You stop wasting energy on the impossible task of predicting and controlling the future, and you start investing that energy in developing the skills and mindset needed to handle whatever comes your way. This shift from trying to control external circumstances to building internal resilience is the foundation of Stoic wisdom. Think about the most successful and fulfilled people you know. They're not the ones with perfect plans that never change. They're the ones who remain calm and adaptable when their plans inevitably get disrupted. They've learned to surf the waves of uncertainty rather than exhausting themselves trying to calm the ocean. The third truth is perhaps the most counterintuitive. Your problems are not problems. They're opportunities wearing disguises. When faced with difficulties, our natural instinct is to resist, complain, and wish things were different. The Stoics approached challenges with a radically different mindset. They saw obstacles not as barriers to happiness, but as raw material for building character and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the Roman Empire facing plagues, wars, and personal tragedies, wrote in his personal journal that we should welcome difficulties because they reveal our true nature and provide opportunities to practice virtue. This wasn't naive optimism. It was strategic reframing based on a deep understanding of human psychology. This doesn't mean pretending that challenges aren't real or that they don't hurt. It means recognizing that your response to challenges is what ultimately determines their impact on your life. Two people can face identical situations and have completely different experiences based solely on their interpretation and response. The fourth truth addresses one of the most common sources of human suffering: attachment to outcomes. We've been conditioned to believe that happiness depends on achieving specific results. We tell ourselves we'll be happy when we get the promotion, when we find the right relationship, when we lose the weight, or when we accumulate enough money. This outcome-dependent happiness is a trap that keeps us perpetually dissatisfied. The Stoics discovered a profound alternative: process-focused fulfillment. Instead of attaching your sense of worth and happiness to external outcomes, you attach it to the quality of your effort and the integrity of your character. This shift eliminates the emotional roller coaster of wins and losses because your self-worth is no longer dependent on factors outside your control. When you focus on process rather than outcomes, you can feel genuinely proud of a business venture that fails if you know you gave your best effort and maintained your principles. You can feel fulfilled in a relationship that ends if you know you loved authentically and treated the other person with respect. This isn't lowering your standards. It's recognizing that true success lies in how you show up, not in what happens as a result. The fifth truth reveals why most attempts at happiness fail. We're looking for it in all the wrong places. Our culture teaches us that happiness is something to be pursued, acquired, or achieved through external means. The Stoics understood that happiness isn't something you chase. It's something you cultivate from within by aligning your thoughts and actions with wisdom and virtue. True contentment comes not from getting what you want, but from wanting what you have. This doesn't mean settling for mediocrity or abandoning your goals. It means developing gratitude for your current circumstances while working toward improvement without attachment to specific outcomes. When you can genuinely appreciate what's already in your life, you operate from a position of abundance rather than scarcity. This shift from external seeking to internal cultivation is liberating because it makes your happiness independent of circumstances. You're no longer at the mercy of external events because your well-being comes from sources that are always within your control: your thoughts, your character, and your responses. The sixth truth confronts one of our deepest fears: impermanence. Everything in life is temporary. Your relationships, your achievements, your struggles, and ultimately your life itself will all pass away. Most people find this reality terrifying and spend enormous amounts of energy trying to make permanent what is inherently temporary. The Stoics embraced impermanence as a source of freedom rather than fear. When you truly accept that nothing lasts forever, you stop clinging so desperately to current circumstances and start appreciating them more fully. You love more freely because you know love is finite. You pursue your goals with passion while holding them lightly because you know success is temporary. You endure hardships with greater equanimity because you know they too shall pass. This awareness of impermanence also helps you prioritize what truly matters. When you remember that your time and energy are limited resources, you become more selective about how you invest them. You spend less time on trivial concerns and more time on relationships and activities that align with your deepest values. The seventh truth addresses the exhausting burden of trying to control other people. Whether it's family members, friends, colleagues, or strangers, we constantly find ourselves frustrated by other people's choices and behaviors. We offer unsolicited advice, manipulate situations, and exhaust ourselves trying to make others see reason. The Stoics recognize that trying to control other people is not only futile, but also disrespectful. Each person has their own path, their own lessons to learn, and their own pace of growth. Your job is not to control or fix others. Your job is to control and improve yourself. When you stop trying to manage other people's lives, you free up enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy that you can redirect toward your own development. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to others or abandoning people you care about. It means learning to influence through example rather than control, to offer support without attachment to outcomes, and to love people as they are rather than as you wish they would be. The eighth and final truth ties everything together. True power lies in surrender. This sounds paradoxical because we've been taught that power means controlling, dominating, and forcing outcomes. But the Stoics understood a deeper kind of power, the power that comes from aligning yourself with reality rather than fighting against it. When you surrender the illusion of control, you don't become passive or fatalistic. Instead, you become incredibly responsive and adaptive. You stop wasting energy on futile resistance and start channeling all your power into the areas where you can actually make a difference. This focused application of effort in the right direction is far more effective than scattered attempts to control everything. Surrender also opens you up to possibilities you never could have imagined. When you're not rigidly attached to specific outcomes, you become available to opportunities that don't fit your original plans, but might be even better than what you initially wanted. Now that you understand these 8 truths, you might be wondering how to actually implement them in your daily life. The transformation from understanding to embodiment doesn't happen overnight, but every small step moves you in the right direction. Start each day with a simple practice that the Stoics called the discipline of perception. When you wake up, before checking your phone or diving into your to-do list, spend a few minutes consciously distinguishing between what's within your control and what's outside your control for that day. This mental sorting exercise trains your mind to focus on actionable items while releasing anxiety about uncontrollable factors. Throughout the day, practice the art of philosophical reframing. When you encounter frustrations, disappointments, or challenges, ask yourself how this situation might be serving your growth. What skills is it helping you develop? What weaknesses is it revealing? What opportunities might be hidden within the apparent obstacle? Develop a gratitude practice that goes beyond surface-level thankfulness. Instead of just being grateful for good things, practice appreciating the difficult aspects of your life for the strength and wisdom they're building. Be grateful for the difficult person who's teaching you patience, the setback that's forcing you to be creative, the uncertainty that's helping you become more adaptable. Create regular reminders of impermanence. This isn't morbid, it's motivating. When you remember that nothing lasts forever, you become more present in your current experiences and more intentional about how you spend your time. You hug your loved ones a little tighter, pursue your dreams with more urgency, and worry about trivial matters with less intensity. Practice emotional regulation through what the Stoics called prosoch, or mindful attention to your thoughts and reactions. Throughout the day, pause periodically to observe your mental state without judgment. Notice when you're trying to control uncontrollable things, when you're attaching your happiness to specific outcomes, or when you're resisting reality instead of accepting it. The most profound benefit of applying these Stoic truths isn't just reduced anxiety or increased happiness, though both of those will naturally occur. The real transformation is that you become unshakable, not because bad things stop happening, but because you develop an inner stability that remains constant regardless of external circumstances. You start making decisions from a place of wisdom rather than fear. You pursue goals with passion but without desperation. You love deeply without possessiveness. You work hard without attachment to recognition. You face challenges with curiosity instead of dread. This is what the Stoics meant by virtue, not moral superiority, but practical wisdom applied to daily living. As you begin implementing these principles, remember that the goal isn't to become emotionless or indifferent. Emotions are natural and valuable sources of information about what matters to you. The goal is to become less reactive and more responsive, to feel your emotions fully without being controlled by them. You'll likely find that some truths resonate more strongly than others, and that's perfectly normal. Start with the principles that feel most relevant to your current challenges and gradually incorporate the others as they become more meaningful to your experience. The ancient Stoics faced the same fundamental challenges that we face today: uncertainty about the future, difficult relationships, professional setbacks, health concerns, and the universal human struggle to find meaning and happiness in an unpredictable world. The specific details may have changed, but the underlying human experience remains remarkably consistent across centuries. What makes these teachings so powerful is their practicality. You don't need special equipment, expensive courses, or perfect life circumstances to begin applying them. You can start today, exactly where you are, with whatever challenges you're currently facing. In fact, your current difficulties are perfect raw material for practicing these principles. As you continue on this journey of letting go of control, you'll discover something remarkable. The less you try to control life, the more influence you actually have. When you stop pushing against reality, you become incredibly effective at working with it. When you stop demanding that others change, you become a powerful example that naturally inspires transformation in those around you. The path of the Stoic isn't always easy, but it's always worthwhile. It requires courage to face uncertainty without guarantees, wisdom to distinguish between what you can and cannot control, and patience to develop new mental habits that serve your highest good. But the rewards are immeasurable. Genuine peace of mind, resilient happiness, meaningful relationships, and a sense of purpose that doesn't depend on external validation. Your life is happening right now in this moment, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. You can spend your energy fighting against what is, or you can use that same energy to become who you're meant to be. The choice, as always, is entirely within your control. These 8 Stoic truths have guided countless individuals through the inevitable storms of human existence, and they're ready to do the same for you. The question isn't whether life will present you with challenges and uncertainties. The question is how you'll choose to respond when it does. Will you exhaust yourself trying to control the uncontrollable, or will you develop the wisdom and strength to navigate whatever comes with grace and resilience? The transformation begins the moment you decide to let go of what was never truly in your hands anyway, and focus your energy on cultivating what has always been your greatest source of power: your character, your responses, and your capacity to find meaning and growth in every experience life offers. This is the path to unshakable happiness, and it starts right now.